Let's talk about how to plan and execute batch payments out of your cash flow forecast. Now, as you probably know, as a practitioner, batch payments are extremely useful. The amount of time you spend trying to pay one bill is often the equivalent of the amount of time and effort you try to spend paying 10 or maybe even 20 bills. And so there's a lot of efficiencies around creating batch payments. It's why it's such a common accounting standard, bookkeeping standard. Now, with that said, when you're trying to do cash flow forecasting around batch payments, there's some intricacies around that. Usually when you look at your accounting and your bookkeeping information, it's all based off due dates for your suppliers and vendors. That's totally different than when you want to pay it. You might have a standard payment date that is completely different from that due date. And so now when you're doing your cash flow forecasting and planning, you need to align all of your accounts payable, all of your vendor and supplier payments on that specific date that you want, not what they want. So it takes a lot of time and effort to do that. Now, the second thing is that you've already created a cash flow forecast. You've created a cash plan. So once it's done, it's overly redundant to have to do that again when actually doing your payment run. So it's very useful to take a step back and look at your accounting process as a whole. So with your cash flow forecast, in that process, it's really redundant to plan it, come out of that system and go into another electronic system to then create that same plan and pay the bills based off the dates that you've set. Now, you could only be saving minutes, but for those people using other more manual methods or having team members, having an integrated system where the plan just simply carries itself out and pays the bills as you've already planned it can save a ton of time and effort. So let's take a look and see how that might actually be done. Here we have a cash flow forecast set up in Helm, and what I want to do is plan out my next two batch pay runs, which is going to happen on the 10th and the 23rd. To do that, I go into the accounts payable drawer, and I filter anything that's going to be due between today and not just the next pay run, but the pay run after. So I make sure that I'm paying things on time. And here you can see all of the bills and supplier invoices that are due between that date range. And using Helm's bulk editing functionality, I just simply set the pay date to the 10th for all four of those transactions at once. You can see that the system automatically updates the AP as well as the actual forecast itself. And now I actually want to plan out the pay run following, which is going to be between December 23rd and January 10th. So here we can see the four supplier bills that are due between that date range. I want to pay all of those on December 23rd. So again, use the bulk editing functionality, changes the forecast automatically. I now have my batch run set up for the 10th and the 23rd of the next month. I can see that I still like the cash position. There's nothing here that surprise me or scare me. So from here, we can actually take it a step further and pay the payments directly out of Helm. Instead of having to cut checks or log into a disparate system, go through lengthy approval chains, email chains, whatever that might be, we can simply pay directly out of Helm. And so we'll search for anything to be paid on my next pay run, which is December 10th. Here we've got the four bills that we had changed previously. And I simply click pay for invoices. And from here, I click schedule payments, and this will actually pay these four bills on December 10th, no earlier, but on December 10th through one of our integrated partners. I don't have to log into any other system or do any other effort. It just simply happens as I've planned it, which saves a boatload of time and effort.